today's video we bring you the 10 best Premier League teams in history. Since its inception in 1992, the Premier League has fought for the title of Europe's top league and has hosted some of the greatest football teams in history. In today's video we will give you a review of the 10 greatest Premier League teams of all time, although ranking the greatest Premier League teams is bound to raise a few feathers. Keep in mind that the teams on this list are rated on more than simply their points tally over the season. Their pre-season expectations, participation and performance in other competitions, and the toughness of the league opponents have all been taken into account. Can you guess who number 1 will be? Leave a comment with your predictions now. No cheating though. Also, don't forget to click the like button. Hit the subscribe button too. Then go grab a nice cool beer and let's get into it. Number 10. We have 2017-18 Manchester City team. Manchester City set a new Premier League record by becoming the first side to achieve 100 points in a single season during the 2017-18 campaign. The team shattered countless more records while playing a magnificent form of spectacular possession football under Pep Guardiola. They set a record for the most away points, 50, the most wins, 32, the most consecutive wins, 18, the most goals scored, 106, and the highest goal difference in the season, 79. In addition, the team had the greatest defence record in the league, conceding only 27 goals while winning 11 consecutive games on the road, a new high. Kevin De Bruyne was the most creative and Sergio Aguero was the most dangerous as the Argentine scored 21 goals in the Premier League season. And the squad won 32 games, drew 4 and only lost 2. The Citizens won the season with a 19-point lead over arch rivals Manchester United, who finished second, setting a new Premier League record for the largest title winning margin ever. The next season, the same collection of players would go on to record the Premier League's longest winning streak. Number 9. Leicester City 2015-2016. Only one club has won the Premier League title outside of Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal and Chelsea before the 2015-16 season. But Leicester City performed the unthinkable and broke the grip of the few chosen clubs on the crown. The Foxes moved from being 5,000 to 1 outsiders to the Premier League champions by 10 points. Claudio Ranieri abandoned the rulebook with Leicester, who were practically pure counter-attackers, while others were preoccupied with possession. During this great season, Jamie Vardy broke the Premier League record for consecutive goals scored. Riyad Mahrez was the league's finest player, capable of scoring, creating and assisting. And N'Golo Kanté was a revelation, repopularising the tough-tackling, all-action defensive midfielder. Leicester's victory was perhaps the greatest remarkable achievement in English football history, and it was truly inspirational. The fact that the championship-winning team was created for less than £35 million enhances the club's accomplishments. Number 8. Manchester United 1993-94. The 1993-94 team, which became the first in United's historic history to win the double, is always considered as one of the club's all-time greatest. United had to practically battle to the finish line this season after a 26-year drought for the title was ended in a spectacular way. The champions' game was just brilliant, with Eric Cantona at the helm and wingers Ryan Giggs, Andrei Kanchelski and Lee Sharp wreaking havoc. Roy Keane and Paul Ince, both box-to-box midfielders rather than holders, developed a scary midfield combo. And the team also had a solid spine, with Steve Bruce and Gary Pallister scarcely missing a game in defence. Mark Hughes leading the line with his usual zeal. Out wide, Lee Sharp, Andrei Kanchelski and Ryan Giggs supplied speed, while up front, Eric Cantona organised play behind Mark Hughes, a good old-fashioned target man. Oh, and no one stood a chance against Peter Schmeichel, the league's top goalkeeper. Number 7. Liverpool 2018-19. The title chase in the Premier League for the 2018-2019 season was one of the most exciting in recent memory. Liverpool and Manchester City battled it out until the final day of the season, with the two sides separated by only 1 point at the end of the season, with only one loss all season. To the Premier League champions Manchester City, this Liverpool team was cementing their position as not only the best team not to win the Premier League title, but one of the finest Premier League teams overall. The Reds were a force to be reckoned with, having strengthened their defence with the world record purchase of Virgil van Dijk in January and splurging out on Roma goalkeeper Alisson in the summer. After recuperating from injury, Mohamed Salah was not quite the performer he had been the year before, but he still won the Golden Boot alongside Sadio Mane and Arsenal's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Roberto Firmino and Mane were in the offensive line, while Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andrew Robertson established themselves as two of the greatest wing-backs in the country, and they didn't even win the league. However, in the season before 2018, their 97 points would have been enough to make them champions. This, however, in no way diminishes the outstanding performance of the Liverpool team in 2018-19. The Reds finished second in the Premier League but won the Champions League for the first time in 14 years and went on to win the league the following season. Number 6. Manchester City, 2018-2019. Manchester City won the Premier League title despite facing one of the most formidable challenges in the league's history. Pep Guardiola's side had a lot to live up to after setting a new Premier League point record the previous season and winning the title by a comfortable margin, winning their last 14 games in a row, equaling their previous season's record for the most wins in a season, helped the club to win back-to-back titles for the first time. If they had lost any of them, they would have handed the title to Liverpool, who were on the verge of winning it and finished only a point behind them. Sergio Aguero, Raheem Sterling and Leroy Sané formed the heart of their attack, and Guardiola added Bernardo Silva and Riyad Mahrez to convert them into one of Europe's finest striking teams. Although the defending champions suffered 4 defeats during the season, their late season winning streak was enough to knock Liverpool off the top spot, demonstrating how far the team had progressed under Guardiola. The 98-point total was amazing in itself, and it was important to Manchester City's total victory. Number 5. Manchester United, 1989-99. This list would be incomplete without this team, which is one of Manchester United's most successful Premier League teams ever. In the summer of 1998, Sir Alex Ferguson bolstered his team with the signings of Jasper Blomqvist, Jaap Stamp of the Netherlands, and Dwight York of Aston Villa. David Beckham, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes and Roy Keane made up the team's midfield, which was probably the best in the Premier League history. Throughout the season, they were up against tight competition from the defending champions, Arsenal, who were neck and neck until the last day. Manchester United were the first and only team to accomplish the elusive European treble this season, winning the Champions League, Premier League and FA Cup, joining an exclusive group of only 7 European teams to have ever done so. Several English teams have come and gone since, but none have been able to match Sir Alex Ferguson's team's extraordinary achievement. Number 4. Manchester City, 2011-12. Manchester City may not have excelled in other areas during 2011-12 season, but the manner in which they won the league more than made up for it. They started the 2011-12 season with a bang, surrendering only 2 points in their first 12 games, including a 6-1 demolition of Manchester United at Old Trafford in the Manchester Derby. In mid-April, they fell 8 points behind United after 3 games without a win, but they clawed their way back to control their own fates as they reached the final match. City won the Premier League for the 3rd time in the club's history and the first time in 44 years by defeating QPR 3-2 on the final day of the season, coming back from a 2-goal deficit to win. City's game-winning goal against QPR came 15 seconds after Manchester's rivals Manchester United had just defeated Sunderland 1-0, making it the first Premier League title to be won on goal difference. Manchester United had even believed that they had won it, with some fans in Sunderland celebrating prematurely before learning that City had actually won it. Number 3. Chelsea, 2004-5. The impact of the special one, Jose Mourinho, on Chelsea and English football in general was highlighted for the first time this season. In 2003, Russian businessman Roman Abramovich acquired control of the Blues, ushering in a new age of increased funding and infrastructure. The club's reorganisation resulted in the hiring of the top manager, Jose Mourinho, as well as some of the best young players in the world, including John Terry, Didier Drogba, Frank Lampard and Ian Robben. Chelsea won their league title for the first time in 50 years this season. Their success was largely due to the practically unbreakable rearguard. Throughout the Premier League season, players like John Terry and William Gallas demonstrated mastery in defence, while Petr Cech earned the Golden Glove after keeping a Premier League record 21 clean sheets and only allowing 15 goals, less than half the number allowed by Arsenal, who placed second. Frank Lampard was the Blues' top scorer that season with 13 Premier League goals. A number of additional elements combined to make Chelsea's team that year a marvel to behold. They not only surpassed the second team in the table, they also gathered 5 more points than the previous season. Chelsea would go on to win the Premier League title in 2004-05 with a total of 95 points. Number 2. Arsenal, 2003-04. For the 2003-04 season, Arsene Wenger put together one of the greatest Premier League squads ever, achieving a feat that has never been replicated since. For many, the club should be on top. After all, the Invincibles are the only team that have gone a full Premier League season without losing a single match in all the 38 league fixtures. Only Preston North End had previously accomplished this feat in 1888 and 1889. Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, Robert Pires and Freddie Ljungberg were among the squad's most notable signings. This was a season in which Henry firmly established himself as the best striker in the world, scoring 30 goals and receiving the Golden Boot. Dennis Bergkamp, who had a direct participation in 4 goals and 7 assists in the Premier League season, was also outstanding in his role as a playmaker. And Pires with 14 goals. The squad scored 90 points in that season and their league unbeaten streak lasted 49 games until Manchester United prevented them from reaching the half-century mark. Regardless, the season was a showcase for Wenger's tremendous strategic and managerial ability. Number 1. Manchester United 07-08. Sir Alex Ferguson, one of the best coaches in football, had created one of the best teams in the world, helping them win the league title in 2006-07 season. The task for them was to maintain their position as the league holders and going further into the Champions League. Ferguson mostly relied on his players' ability to read the passes and intercept. A defensive stance was established and more emphasis placed on being ready to break with an astonishing pace when the ball was won back. Ronaldo, Rooney and Tevez' front line was fantastic because each of them could come deep and take the ball forward quickly. United mostly used a 4-4-2 formation this season with Giggs and Ronaldo on the wings and Rooney and Tevez making up the front 4. Carrick and Scholes controlled the midfield, both were capable of playing short passes and Scholes was able to release the ball on counter-attacks. The defence was strong, with the side pressing mainly when the opposition committed mistakes and scarcely pressing in the opponent's half. That concludes the list, guys. Which teams do you believe should have made the cut but didn't? Please share your thoughts in the comment section. Also remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great football content, and I will see you in the next video.